Welcome to Reflect Academy. This is video number 5. Today we're talking about the power of backlinking. Now, if you've used legacy note-taking tools like Evernote or even things like a Google Drive, and to an extent even Notion, you're probably used to a folder system of organization. And you might think that feels natural, but it actually doesn't match the way our brains work at all. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that, but first, let me kind of go over what this lesson is going to cover. We're going to talk about what exactly is a backlink. I'm going to talk about the cognitive benefits of using backlinks and more specifically, why you should use a backlinked note-taking system. We're going to talk about how to effectively use backlinks within Reflect, which will help translate to other note-taking tools. We're going to talk about real-world examples of backlinking in action. And then I'm going to talk about when to use a backlink and when to use a tag. Let's get started. What are backlinks exactly? A backlink is a bidirectional association or link between two notes. And you're probably pretty familiar with the concept of a normal link. If you go on a web page and it links to an article, it's just text that is hyperlinked. And when you click on it, it leads you to a different web page. The exact same thing's happening here, except it's linking notes together instead of web pages. And also it's bidirectional. And I'll show you visually what that means in a second, because I'm going to go through some examples. But how backlinks are shown and created, typically they're shown through highlighted text of some special color, or it's bold in some way so that it stands out. And there's usually some sort of shortcut. So in Reflect, I create a backlink with two brackets like this. So this will pull up some suggestions. I could backlink the agency I run, Startup Cookie, and that is now a backlink. So in Reflect, you can see they show up as purple, and I can click on this and it takes me to a new note. And I can also see that it is down here in the incoming backlinks. So it's two directional. So I've now linked it in this Academy page. And if I were to add a backlink to that Academy page into this note, so I'll just put that there. Then I can click back to this page and I'm on the exact same note that I was before. You'll also notice that there's now an incoming backlink from the other note. So these two notes are connected together. Now, this is what's referred to as networked note-taking. And if I go to Reflect's Mind Map feature here, this is, again, a brand new map. So I almost have no notes. It's almost completely empty. But here you can see what I just created. I've got my Academy note that is backlinked to my Startup Cookie note. So there's a bidirectional backlink between those two. Now you can also see that I have a note from myself, Sam, and that is backlinked to Startup Cookie because I am the co-founder of Startup Cookie, and so I linked my name in it. However, you won't find my name backlinked anywhere in this Academy note. So that's why I'm not going to show up on that map there connected to these three. Now, another great representation that's actually more real world, sorry, the text kind of overlaps there, but you see on this map, there's a note Reflect, which is this company, and Alex McCaw is the CEO. So he's got a backlink there. And then in our starting note, we have a page on how to save websites, capture with Chrome, and save other things from the web. That's connected to Reflect. We've got a tips and tricks page that's also connected to Reflect. And on the day Tuesday, January 2nd, that's when I started using Reflect in this specific graph. So it created a note on that page, which is also backlinked. And you can see a couple of notes out here that are linked just like the saving websites and the tips and tricks. And linked off of this one is how to use Reflect. So you can kind of see how this works. And over time, this will form a nice big graph, which I will show you later on in this video. I'll show you my real one. But for now, let's go back into the Academy page. So that's, I think, kind of a good introduction on what backlinks are. It's actually pretty intuitive, but because we're used to one directional backlinks, I think it's important to kind of explain how you form that web of ideas within your note-taking application. All right, so let's now talk about the cognitive effect of a backlink note-taking system. So this is kind of the reason why you shouldn't use a folder system, or I guess just why it's not optimal too. So for one, a network note-taking system better mimics the way that our brains work. Why? It forms associations. So that backlink between two notes works just like our memory does. Our memory works by forming associations between two thoughts, ideas, or even another memory. And again, that's exactly what that backlink does. It's just forming a connection and association. So that map that you see is actually your brain of thoughts and ideas and the people you meet and the places you go. All of those things swimming around are connected to each other. And when you backlink things in notes, you're able to mirror those connections. So it more closely matches your name. Brain. But there's some other reasons that you should use network note-taking systems and tools. It's easier to index and see the association. So one is the map view, but to be honest, that's kind of a gimmick. It's just a visual representation. But when you backlink things, your notes know they're associated. And so when you're using things like our advanced search feature, where you can have all these parameters, it helps the search. You can even put in, notes that are specifically linked to or by a specific note. So it makes it much easier to save things and see the associations. And also when you're saving things, you don't have to think about how to organize them. So there's less friction. You don't have to think about if it should go in a specific folder, which folder should go in, should it go in multiple folders? Do you need to label it? Like all of that stuff. You just don't have to worry about it because all you need to do is backlink as you go. That's all the organization requires of you. And of course, it is kind of nice that you get a visual representation. I think it's more motivating to build a second brain when you can actually see it being built in real time. Okay, so let's now talk about how to effectively use backlinks within Reflect. Now, I don't mean for this to be a sales pitch for Reflect, but that is the tool that I'm creating this in. And so I think it's the best to show you how to do them within Reflect so that you can find the similar functionality in another note-taking app if you decide to use a different one. So to start off with, what should you backlink? In general, you should backlink all entities. So all people, places, things, backlink all projects, events, ideas you have. Gosh, you can backlink almost anything. So a good rule of thumb is if it starts with a capital letter, you should backlink it. And there's a really easy way now, thankfully, that you can get used to this. First, I'm going to write a sample sentence, and then we're going to use AI to add backlinks for us automatically. So I'm going to say on March, actually, let me do a different one. On January 1st, 2022, Sam Clausen started working for Reflect. I know that's kind of a dumb sentence and it's not even true. I started working for Reflect before then, but I just wanted to put a couple entities in there to show you how this works. And so now I'm going to pull up the AI assistant and I'm going to have it automatically decorate this writing with backlinks. And if I click replace the text, you can see here that now the date is backlinked because it's a time. I am backlinked because I'm a person, and Reflect is backlinked because it's a company. And I'm actually going to Control Z that, and we're going to do it again because there's a couple things that I want to show you that's happening here. One, in the result, note how the backlinks are denoted. It's in between square brackets. That's one of the ways that Reflect denotes a backlink. So I can say backlink, and then I can just click enter. I don't actually have to close it, and it will create a backlink. There you go. You can also do an @ So I've already created that now. It exists, @backlink, same thing. And also, if I run this prompt again, now if I open this and expand the entire prompt, it's saying to add backlinks to the text. And I think it's kind of helpful to see how the AI is instructed here. So keep the original text, yada, yada. But surround each person name, company name, and other nouns with double square brackets. So if the person has a name of Jerry, denote it like this, Jerry. Again, you don't need to close it if you're writing it out manually. Add backlinks to all people, places, things, projects. If it starts with a capital letter, backlink it. Do not include actions or verbs. That's an important one. And do not wrap responses in triple quotes. Do not translate it. That's just normal AI stuff, so it doesn't return something ridiculous. So pretty much what I just said there. If it starts with a capital letter, backlink it. I think that's the easiest way to get going. And you'll be shocked at how quickly it becomes just second nature. Okay. And then there is another benefit here of using backlinks within Reflect. So you might be asking yourself, wait a minute, you now have a backlink for Sam Clausen, but what if you just want to refer to him as Sam? Or wait, is it reverse? Oh, no, I have both. Okay, actually, this is an even better example. Okay, so I've got two notes here. I've got Sam and I've got Sam Clausen, but I'm the same person. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, oh gosh, which one of these should I do first? I'm going to do aliases first. So if I go into this note and type the double slashes, backslashes, forward slashes, I get them mixed up. And then another name, it will create an alias for this note. So let me show you how it's done. Just like that. And I now have an alias for that note. But I'm realizing that there might be a problem with the order that I did this because I already have a note with the name of Sam. So what I am going to do is first merge these. So if I go to my Sam note and I just change the title to be exactly the same, okay, there it goes. So I just needed a backspace into it. So I will click merge and there we go. Now it's the same note. If I go back here, you see there's only one Sam Clausen. And I can also create an alias. So again, if I just title that Sam, then I can go into my daily note. And even though Sam as a standalone doesn't exist, I can just type Sam now and the note shows up. And if I click on it, it's the same one. Great. And that's great for things like you can write out your family members' names and then put mom or dad or something like that. So pretty useful. Okay. I think that is it. That's both merge and the alias. And maybe with the exception of that last one, the rest of that functionality should exist in any note-taking, network note-taking tool that allows bidirectional backlinks. Okay, so let's talk about some real-world examples of backlinking in action. First, I want to talk about the daily note. So the daily note is where you should take notes off of. It should be your home base. And the easiest way to start using it is either to do a to-do list or a daily log. So I'm going to do a daily log. And the first thing I recommend doing is creating a backlink for the daily log. And inside that note, you can put whatever you want. I'm going to just put a short description and say a running log of what happens each day. Great. And then underneath it, I'm just going to list everything that I did that happened to me. So maybe it's 6 a.m. I woke up and went for a walk. And then let's say 7 a.m. had a, I'm going to backlink all hands, call for reflect. And the reason I'm going to backlink that is because, you know, I might want to keep legacy information in there. I might want to keep an agenda, and then I can take any note that actually happened underneath it there. So maybe we reviewed 2023 stats. I'm just kind of making this up now. And then I'll just say like brainstorm 2024 initiatives. That is really lame. But it's kind of hard to come up with things when you're recording a video on the spot. So here you can see that I backlinked this. And let's say that I now went to go get breakfast. Breakfast, and I'll say the location at Black Belly Coffee with, and I'll say Barbara, yo, bitch. Perfect. And I'll backlink the location and I'll backlink the person. And then let's say that I did a daily reflection. So I would backlink that too. And similar to the daily log, in the daily reflection, I might decide to put the actual template I use for my daily reflection. Oh yeah, I forgot this is a demo journal, so I don't have my template set up. So I might put like gratitude journaling, reframing, anything else, whatever. Okay, I think that's enough. So you can just see as you go on here, you keep a track of your day and you backlink things along the way. And then over time, you see my brain's already starting to grow here. So let's see, where was that? That was today. So if I go in and look at these, I've got the daily note here. You can see everything that I wrote in it, and I can see the notes that I've got connected. And just to show you one, actually, no, I'm going to leave that for a later video. I was going to show you kind of a trick related to using tags, but I think I'm going to save that, or maybe not a video. I'm going to save that for the end when I talk about the tagging section. So, okay. So that's kind of list, daily note, and then to-do list, you could do the same thing. It's just instead of a log, it's your to-do list for the day. Okay. And then finally, we're going to do adding backlinks using AI to voice notes. So I'm a huge advocate of voice notes. Huge advocate. Could not be a bigger advocate. So let me record a quick voice note. Really should have thought of something to record this with. Maybe I'll just record a couple things that I have to do left today. Okay, today, as soon as I'm done recording the 5th Academy video for Reflect, I need to respond to Ray about the proposal, and then I need to clean the bathrooms downstairs before our company comes tomorrow, and I need to look on the Colorado State Government website to check on the status of my LLC letter. Oops, a command. I just activated Super Whisper, which is an application that I have gotten trained to use when I'm not in Reflect for voice recording. So, oops. But anyway, that was a little bit of a ramble. Sorry about that. But I wanted to at least say enough things that the backlink response would be good enough. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pull up that same AI prompt and just have it decorate the text with backlink for me. And we'll see how it does here. It was kind of fake because actually it did pretty good. So if I was backlinking this, I would have done everything the same with the exception of LLC. Oh, that's a hard one. No, actually, I think AI was right. I think LLC should be backlinked. So a couple of the tricky ones I'll have to think about. But I mean, when in doubt, just add a backlink to it. Like there's no issue in adding backlinks. You can add as many as you want. It doesn't clutter your note. That's one of the magic parts of it. Okay. Lastly, backlinks versus tag. When should you use a backlink and when should you use a tag? So kind of like I just said, when in doubt, use a backlink. If you're ever asking yourself, should I backlink this or should I tag this? Always just backlink it. You can't add too many backlinks. The more backlinks you add, the better. It doesn't clutter your note. And it is kind of a pain, I guess, if you have to go delete them later. But again, it's not like with the advanced search and everything, it doesn't really clutter your notes. So I don't really think it's that big of an issue. But generally, I think the rule of thumb for tags is use a tag anytime you just want to pull up a list of your notes. So if I go to this all notes page in custom, I don't have any custom tags because it's my demo brain. So maybe this is actually a good time for me to go to my normal brain and I'll show you my mind map. Okay, so here I am in the map on my actual Reflect account. And you can see what it looks like when you've been using it for a while. So everything you see here in the center are all the notes, and these lines have them backlinks to each other. And then I don't know if you can see, it might be kind of hard. It's like all these peripheral planet looking notes on the outside. Those are actually just my old Apple notes that I imported, so they're not linked to anything. I just wanted to be able to search and index them. So this is what a full-sized brain, that sounds really arrogant. This is what a full-size mind map looks like after you've been backlinking for a while. And then if we go to the all notes page here, you can see a list of the tags that I have here. And so if I just want to pull up a list of cities in my notes, these are all the cities that I have linked to. So anytime you need just a list of things, I think it's best to use a tag. But Again, most of the time you're going to want to backlink. And then the technical difference between a backlink and a tag, well, some applications actually treat them as the same. Some applications will treat tags as backlinks. Reflect does not. They are two different elements, which is kind of nice, even though if I do a tag here and say book, and click on it, it does kind of act like a link and it will take me here. But that has different functionality than if I were to say backlink hashtag book. Oh, maybe that doesn't work. Oh, interesting. Okay, so you can't put a tag as a title. That kind of makes sense. But they're very similar in their actual functionality. They're similar in their looks. But if you get confused, just use a backlink when in doubt and use a tag if you ever want to add a collection of notes. I'll be talking about tags a little bit later on in the Academy. So that pretty much wraps up this video. If you've not yet dove into the world of network note taking and use tags, don't be afraid. It's really, really not that hard at all. It's one of those learning curves that you can get through just by practicing, and you don't even have to intentionally practice adding backlinks. Just again, the biggest tip I have for you, take notes out of the daily note, just like this log or like a to-do list. Try it tomorrow and then try backlinking these elements. Or write your whole list and then go through and backlink all of them. You don't have to backlink as you go. You can do it all after the fact. And if you're using Reflect, you're gonna have AI do it for you. So that should be all. Comment on the video if there's anything I missed, and I will add it to the Academy page.